speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Monday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends up there at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here every day. As you can tell, we're kicking off the show with a special guest today. We have Abby Muckleroy, senior from Canfield, a brand new district champion. Abby, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good, but I am guessing it's not as good as you are. First district championship of your career that you can say that you've worn that gold medal. What's it feel like?
Right now it feels amazing, and we're gonna go to practice today and have that feeling, but we still have to stay focused and stuff. But in the moment after we won, obviously I was happy, but I was kind of numb in the moment. Like, I can't believe it happened. Like, I don't know. It's just super exciting, and it's a great honor to have, really.
You talked about that feeling before we went live about like being numb during the celebration and stuff. I'm sure going into that game, the first couple of days going into it, you were kind of thinking about what it would be like, what it would feel like to win a district championship, trying to visualize it. How did the celebration and the cutting of the nets and that feeling compare to some of the things that you thought it would feel like?
It was honestly how I imagined it. I knew we were gonna, if we won, I knew we were gonna cut the nets down and stuff, and that was super exciting. I was a little bit nervous on the ladder though. I thought I was gonna fall off, but I stayed up. I honestly imagined it was exactly how I imagined it, and it was just a great feeling with my teammates and my coaches and every friends, family, everything.
Some people struggle with cutting the nets. Did you get right through like a champ, or did you have to work it a little bit?
I think I sliced it twice on each one, and then I just took it through.
Right through,
Yeah.
like a boss. We were talking off the air a little bit about how, even some way halfway through the season, there were doubts in your head, like, can we even win a district championship? Probably because of how hard the districts had been in years past in Division One. Not saying that Division Two was any easier, but there was there was like a wall that was holding you from a district championship in years past. When did you kind of start to sink in this team that we had something special? We can go win a district championship.
I think it was one game. We played it on Sunday, and I forget who we played. It was like this, I think it's East Lake North, something like that. And our defense was so good that game, and everyone rewatched film, and that was like, it was the best defense we've played all season. So we knew that we could do it, and that was kind of like our turning point of our defense. And we said, like, if we play this defense for the rest of the season, we're going to go undefeated. If we play this defense for the rest of the tournament, we're going to make it all the way. Like, that game was our turning point of our defense, and that's super exciting for our team.
Your defense doesn't get talked about a lot because of how well you guys shoot the ball and how well you guys can score.
Yeah.
Was it hard, as good as offensive, as you are, to focus on defense a little bit and to realize that defense is your biggest strength when you guys can go out and have 5 girls on the floor that can shoot the 3 at once?
Yeah. Our defense is probably one of our better factors now, and I'm happy that we can say that, because the first few games, like, our defense didn't flow very well, and Coach Real made it a factor in practice almost every single day to, like, sprint the ball, play hard, like, play hands out, like, play active defense and stuff. And that game, we finally, like, it finally clicked for us, and that's, like, super exciting. And, like, everyone, yeah, we're really, really good shooters. We have 5 people on the court who can score, which is great to have, but everyone really overlooks our defense, which is amazing.
You are statistically the leading scorer of the team, but one of the things that you notice when you look at these stats for the Canfield is it's not by much, and there are a lot of girls that average at least 8 points per game. What's it like for you to know that you can go off, you can score, and you can help your team that way? But if you're having an off night, or if you're not scoring the way you want to score, you have so many teammates that can go out and get it done.
Yeah, it's a little less pressure for everyone, I think, on the team because we're not centered around one girl, and we don't need to be centered around one girl because we have multiple people, like even on the court and even people coming off the bench who can score for us, which is really great. And if one night I'm not on, I focus on my defense, and that's my role that game. Like, I don't have to score. We don't all have to, like, we don't focus on one girl, which is really crucial for a team.
How do you balance that mindset with that killer mentality that you have to have as a shooter to just go out and say, I'm still going to shoot, I'm still going to score, I'm still going to be confident in my ability to score? How do you balance that mindset with the I don't have to score to win this game kind of thing?
So what I usually do, and I think what everyone on the team really does, is we've all put the work in all throughout the summer and off season, and we all are confident in our shot. If we miss one, we know that the next one's going in. And if we miss that one, then the next one's going to go in. Like, our stats and our work will eventually show in a game, and the shots are going to fall.
One of the things I noticed really quick about this basketball team is how much you guys trust each other because of that. This bond that you guys have on the basketball team, this trust that you guys have in one another. Can you just describe that and go into that on how that's been developed over the years and how much you trust your teammates, whether it be trust in the score, trust them to do your job, trust them off the court, anything like that?
Yeah, the seniors grew up playing like since fourth grade through senior year. So we all know each other pretty well, but the juniors and the sophomores and freshmen, we all we just click automatically, and like we're such different people and we have such different personalities. Like, we like different things in these other people, but it all just works so well. And we trust each other off the court, which causes us to trust each other on the court. And like, I can trust Cammie Dill to bring the ball up against one of the best defenders in Ohio because she's put that work in. She's done everything she can to be the best that she can, and I trust her bringing it up. Like Kate Sully, I trust her driving to the hoop. Carly Harmon, I trust her on the game-winning shot every single day. I mean, the work that we've all put in is amazing, and I see it in everyone, and I just trust everyone on the team.
Let's talk a little bit more about this district championship game and the way it flowed out. Obviously, a defensive battle between two of the top defenses in the state of Ohio. Statistically, you can't argue that. What was it like going through it, where scoring was scarce and every point was earned, and going through a game like that where you had to work, claw, and scratch for every point that you were able to get up on that board?
It was definitely tiring, I will say. But I remember one possession they just kept going back and forth, and they could not get one shot, one drive, one anything, because our defense just worked so well together. And then the student section starts yelling and stuff, and they got everybody so excited, and every single point was earned in that game. And in practice, Coach Real emphasizes games like that, situations like that. We scrimmage, and we have to, like, it's 4-2 or it's 0-2. The game is the 4, and if the other team scores, then they automatically win. So he makes it so that we have to, like, not perfect, but trust that each possession we have to make perfect.
When we had you on during volleyball season, the main theme of that volleyball season was how much responsibility was put on your shoulders this year to be a leader compared to last year, because that volleyball team last year lost a lot of good seniors, and the same thing with this basketball team. How much did going through that in the volleyball season help you in the same situation this basketball season to step into a senior leadership after so many really good seniors graduated from last year?
Yeah, it wasn't just me who stepped into the leadership role. It was obviously the 3 other seniors, but I think volleyball definitely helped with that because I got to experience the highs and lows of winning and losing and going through team problems or like set problems, and I learned how to manage that and control and help my other teammates out so I can bring my my learning experiences from volleyball into basketball season so I can help my teammates get out of their head or um, give them more advice to help them, just focus more. And that's like volleyball season definitely helped me become a leader for basketball.
One of the things that you notice when you look at the rosters is there's not a lot of turnover from volleyball to basketball. Not a lot of the same faces, not a lot of the same teammates.
No.
What's that like to kind of go from one season to another and have a whole different line of personalities and line of players that you're able to interact with and trust from one season to the next?
Um, it's different, I will say, but volleyball again, like volleyball and basketball are two completely different sports, and it really just depends on who you are and how well you match with other people. And I love my volleyball team and I love my basketball team, and I connect so well with both teams. Like volleyball girls, I had some of my best friends on that side. Basketball, I have some of my best friends on that side too. So it kind of just mashes together. Even though they're not the same people, it still mashes together pretty well.
All right, so obviously different teams. What's the biggest difference in the personality of the locker room between the volleyball team and the basketball team?
I really don't know. I mean, they're both just crazy teams. I mean, I could walk into the locker room with both teams and there just be random screaming or someone talking about something, and just like both locker rooms are loud and both teams are very outgoing, which makes it so fun to play with them.
Which one of your basketball teammates do you think would have made the best volleyball player if they were, if they were committed to volleyball for the 4 years that they were in school?
Does it have to be a senior?
Doesn't have to be a senior. Just anyone on that team that's not on the volleyball team that you wish was because you think they'd be good at it.
Probably I have two in mind. I would say Jenna Treveri because she's really athletic and fast, and maybe Cami Dill because she's tall. She got the long arm. I don't know. I feel like boss up at volleyball.
What about the other side? What's someone on the volleyball team that you think would really be good at basketball that you wish came out for that sport?
I don't know because we would always at volleyball practice we would always like shoot on the hoops with the volleyball, and then we were all kind of bad. So, I would have to say, Alana Lawson. I think she would be a pretty cool point guard.
All right, so one of the other talking points of that volleyball season was the new coach, right? You had the first year coach and Coach Nesbitt. Basketball, different story. Coach Real's been doing it for a while. He's been in this program for a while. What was it like to be under him for your career, the basketball season? What kind of things has he taught you about basketball, about life, and things like that?
He's been my coach for, like you said, 4 years, and the thing that I most admire about Coach Real is he wants everyone to be like the best that they could. Like he knows he can see the best in people, and he tries to pull that out of them. And throughout the years, he has made me so mentally strong, and I've had to handle hard situations in basketball, which helped me handle tough situations in life. So I love playing for him, and he's taught me many things, not just in basketball, but also in life.
You must have made an impression on Coach Nesbitt because she couldn't leave you. She's on that staff on the basketball team on the bench. What's that like to have your head volleyball coach be on the basketball staff as well?
It's great. I mean, it's different for her because she was head coach for volleyball and an assistant coach for basketball, but it gives me someone like consistent through basketball season and volleyball season that I can talk to and go to advice about for whether it's my sports or like school or something, but it's somebody I can trust throughout both seasons.
So this life you live, basketball, volleyball, school, social life, but you also have a job that you have to hold down as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it like? What are some of the main reasons why you're able to succeed at doing all those different things and balancing it? And it's got to be something that's tough.
It's quite tough. This semester, I have different classes. First semester, it was pretty easy. I never had homework. And now this semester, I have probably 2 hours of homework at least. And it's hard. And then going to work doesn't help because I had work last night. And I had to do my homework when I got home. But it's really all about time management and like not saving everything for the last minute. But it's definitely not easy. But I have my friends help me out too, so that's
Have you always been good at time management, or is it something that you think you've developed over the years that you've had to kind of get better at?
I feel like I've always been kind of good at time management. I did grow out of being organized. I used to be really organized and I have everything in the perfect spot, and that's kind of gone out the door. But I'm good at time management, so that's what matters.
All right, before we let you go, it's a quick turnaround from the district championship to the regionals. You won on Saturday, you play tomorrow. Not a lot of time to celebrate and get ready. What's that kind of been like to celebrate districts, but then really have to turn around and focus on a regional semifinal tomorrow night?
Yeah, there's not a lot of time between the two games, and that's okay. I mean, the Marlington team that we play actually has 3 of my really good friends on there, so it'll be a fun game going on. But we have to celebrate that night and then celebrate that Sunday morning. But then we had like a shoot around stretch thing, and we had to focus in right away on Marlington. Like, it's not like football. We don't have a whole week to prepare and like celebrate the win. We had 2 days to get ready and heal and get ready to play Marlington.
Good news for you is you played them before, and there's some familiarity, like you said, with that Marlington team. You know what they're about. You know what they do. Abby, we wish you the best of luck in that game tomorrow. We will be there supporting you. Richie and May will be on the call at YSN. You're going to be broadcasted in the Purple Palace at Barberton, and we'll be rooting for you, and we can't wait to see you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You got it. Abby McElroy, the senior leader of the Canfield Cardinals girls basketball team that is fighting for a regional trip to the regional championship on Tuesday. They will play Marlington tomorrow night in Barberton. We go from Abby McElroy in Canfield to someone that's right down the road, South Range senior, not senior, but South Range going for the district semifinals tomorrow night as well. Boy, Luke Rowan, the deadly three-point shooter. Luke, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
Man, I said senior because I'm just thinking, man, you've had such an impact on this team. Sometimes it feels like you've been playing for 4 years, but no. You class of 25, here we go. But what's this season been like for you? A whirlwind of just being able to make big impacts on a lot of big games, time in, time out.
Yeah, season started off a little rough, but we picked it up. We been playing together, and it's just we're having fun now, and we're winning, so we're having fun.
Winning is fun, but you brought up that start of the season. Obviously, you start off kind of tough, but what were some of the conversations had inside this locker room? I'm sure the team had a lot of player-only type meetings that kind of brought this team together during that and turned it around. What were some of the things that you guys said to each other to really turn that season around and get back to a winning path?
We just talked about teamwork. At the beginning of the year, you could tell by the way we were playing that it was every man for themselves out there. And it was a little rough because we had about 4 practices together, and we had 3 or 4 games with the football team because of their success. So we just, I don't even know how to say it. We weren't fresh coming into the year. We needed Aiden Leone how he is now and Lenny Moore how he is now. They just weren't the same first couple games coming back from football.
Was it kind of easy to understand that, like, hey guys, we're 0-5, but our football players haven't really gotten into basketball shape yet. We're gonna be fine. Was it kind of easy to keep that in perspective?
Yeah, I picked up on that pretty quick. I knew we weren't going to be the powerhouses we should be because they just had the longest football season of their lives. But
Right.
Once they kicked it into gear, things went up from there. So
We always ask how success breeds success. What was it like to bring the players that just won a state championship into that locker room and kind of hear some of the things that they were able to do and some of the standards that they had that won them that state championship and be able to lean on their leadership?
Oh, it was great because coming into the year we didn't look too good. We weren't winners, but they came right off a winning season, so it was like they knew how to win, and you can see how when we play they know how to win and they show us how to win.
To my count, I might be wrong, but you guys are 8-0 in one possession games this year. A lot of wild finishes.
Yeah.
A lot of game-winning shots. What's it been like to just? It seems like you win every close game you play.
Yeah, we usually take a pretty big lead in those close games, and then teams slowly fight back, and then we're the last ones to score. That's the goal.
This NE8 that you guys play in has been wild all year. Every team seems to be able to beat everybody. Gerard, Jefferson, you guys, Hubbard, Struthers. I mean, they all have big wins against one of the teams that finished in the top spot, including you guys. What's that been like going through a league where you literally know that every night you cannot take the night off?
Oh, I don't even know how to say it. It's hard because you see teams killing teams, and then every game in the NE8's like inside of 10 points because all the teams are probably just as good as each other.
For the first time in the boys basketball program, you guys are NE8 champions. How did that feel to be able to pull that off, to go on the road to Jefferson to clinch it?
Oh, it was awesome. We were their first home loss, so we really took that to heart. And just to have a piece of the NE8 was awesome. We just had fun.
How much was that motivation, knowing you were going there, knowing that they hadn't had a home loss yet? Obviously, it's a tough trip for everybody. How much was that motivation for you guys going down there like, hey, we better give this team their first home loss?
Oh, it was a lot of motivation because we wanted to win so bad. Since the first game to the last game, we've wanted to win so bad, and we knew we can get this game. And the first quarter, it didn't look so good, but we overcame and we won.
You had a stretch this season. In 3 games for a week, you hit 17 3-pointers. One, my word. 2, what's it like when you get on a hot streak like that where it feels like almost you can't miss a shot that you put up?
Oh, it feels good. And just the motivation from my teammates, the bench. When I watch film, I always watch the bench. They're always having fun, but at South Range, when you see someone's getting hot, that's their game. So like the days Lenny gets hot, where he's the only one we're feeding because we want him to go. But when I was getting hot, my teammates found me. So
one of the things that I noticed covering you guys all year, even when you're hot, you're not taking silly shots. You're not doing those heat check moments where you're showing up a 3 that's like way beyond your range and things like that. How have you avoided that when you're hot, when you're feeling it? You don't get that to that point where you're not getting it out of the offense. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's because we don't have just like 1 or 2 guys that can score. We have 4 or 5 guys on the court at all times that can score it. So it's easy to distribute the ball and let everyone get a chance to score and not take bad shots.
A lot of people would say, "Oh man, the South Range team only has 1 senior." They probably have a lot of young guys that have to step up and lead, and I'm sure you do. But man, that 1 senior is Aiden Leone. What's it been like to have him as a rock on this team and see him, as you said earlier, get into that basketball stride?
Oh, Aiden's sweet. He's probably the nicest guy on the team. He doesn't say too much, but when he says stuff, that means it matters. So when he has to step up and lead us, he does, and he does a great job.
There was one point in the first tournament game where United was starting to make a little bit of a run in the third quarter. Then Aiden threw it down. Right, Aiden got the dunk.
Yeah.
What did that do for the emotions, for the energy of this team to see him do that in his last home game of his career in that kind of moment?
Oh, I was jumping. I jumped from half court to about the volleyball line. So happy. But it was the first time anyone from South Range has dunked in our gym. So it was an awesome feeling, and everyone was happy for him.
And that's wild because there have been so many good athletes that have come through South Range in that gym, and a lot of people that you would think could have gotten up there to dunk, but Aiden Leone's the first one to do it. When you talk about this team this season, obviously you're going now for the district semifinals and you're trying to get the program's first district championship. What would that mean, especially considering the start to the season and the things that this team had to go through and all that to be the program's first district championship after all that?
Oh, it would mean the world. You see like the teams that have chanced at getting the district finals, they didn't start like us. It wasn't like the Cinderella story we are. So if we were to get there, it'd be awesome.
Okay, we got to talk about this family lineage because anyone that looks at that last name Rowan, it's kind of in the DNA of South Range. There's been a lot of good Rowans that have come through that school.
Mhm.
What's it like being in this family tree and having so many athletes in your family and kind of so much to live up to?
Oh, it's sweet. Most of my cousins played baseball, so it's like not as much pressure. But my cousin Georgie was a really good basketball player at South Range back in the day. So it's nice to carry the last name on my back and show them that like it's not just handed to me. You got to earn it.
Yeah, I mean, most of them, dabbled in basketball, but you're right. They were mostly, the baseball is the sport that they signed in. What's that like to kind of be the mantle of the basketball in your family and kind of go the other way?
Oh, it's sweet because my brother gets all the love for baseball, so I get I get the basketball love, so I love it.
Did you ever consider baseball?
Uh, I played baseball my freshman year. I don't know if I'll play this year, but it was fun last year. I just am not very good at baseball.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short. I'm sure there's stuff you do for that team. But back to basketball, this home gym, yeah, everyone has something about their home gym that makes it feel like home. You guys playing what I like to call the Thriller Dome, and it lived up to its name this year. What is it about South Range in that gym that makes it feel like home to you?
It's probably the community. Every game's always packed. Once we started winning, people started flooding in, and it's just such a great environment to play in.
Yeah, and they say winning breeds culture, winning breeds crowds, but it doesn't even matter. I mean, even when you guys were struggling, that first home game that you had was packed. What's it mean to you to have a community that doesn't give up on you guys when you have to start like that?
Oh, it's awesome because they're half the reason we took this road to success because they're just rooting us even in the hardest times. So,
Obviously, you're a student athlete as well, so you have a lot of studies and you have all the stuff that you have to do as a student. Sophomore year for me was the hardest. What's it been like for you in the classroom?
sophomore year has probably been the hardest year of my academic career. I usually get all A's, but I've been getting a couple B's lately. So,
Oh no.
yeah.
What have been some of the classes that you do like that you're not struggling in still?
Math, Miss Fishel, her class is pretty easy for me because I'm quick with math, and I like science.
What about the other end of the spectrum? What class do you have to work the hardest in to get those good grades and keep them up?
Uh, English is probably not my strong suit, and history I have to work hard to get an A.
Is it still Lindstrom for history?
Yes, it is still
Got to
Mr. Strong.
give him a hard time,
Yep,
especially since he's a Patriots fan.
yep.
Who are some of your favorite teachers that you've had in the school system, whether it be in the high school or in the middle school? Teachers that kind of have made an impact on your journey and have been able to help you in the classroom and help you in life too.
Coach Geezy, he was my eighth grade basketball coach and my tech teacher. Miss Scott, the home ec teacher. Uh, oh, I'm trying to think right now. All the teachers, Mr. Foster, everyone's really helped me. So,
One of the things about South Range, obviously, there's a reason why they're one of the highest graded schools as far as education goes. What's it kind of been like knowing that you have the teachers you mentioned and all the other teachers in the school that uh, take the extra mile to care for their students, and if you need help, they're always there.
mhm. Yeah, it's anytime I need help, like I'll come in early if I'm taking a test that day and I don't quite sure know what I'm doing. So they go out of their way to help people. So that's why I love South Range.
All right, so you're just in your sophomore year. You got 2 more years to think about, 2 more years to grow. What are some of the things that you watch in your game and you say I can still get really better at this as I keep going in my basketball career?
Probably my ball handling and my ability to drive to the hole and start making some 2-pointers.
Now, I heard you say earlier this season that your home is the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're gonna go out of your home a little bit and try to get?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I usually say my boundary is that line behind the free throw line, but I'm gonna have to start breaking boundaries and develop my game.
When you kind of do that, what is the thing that is going to excite you the most about the future of this program? Obviously, you're bringing a lot of people back next year. Obviously, you're still thinking about this year, but when you think about the future of this program and the steps that you're taking this year, what excites you the most?
The thing that excites me the most is that we're all coming back, and it's like we're going to pick up right where we left off this year, next year. So losing Aiden's going to be big, but we're also gaining some guys, and hopefully we start off quick, unlike this year.
All right, Luke, it's all going down tomorrow, Warren Harding. Before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system and all the people that have been there for you throughout your career.
All right, I want to thank my family, my mom. She always got my uniform ready for me, everything. She's a helper. Then my dad, we always watch film together, and just everyone who supports me.
What's the biggest form of basketball advice your dad has given you?
Just go out there like it's your last game and don't play scared. Just play your game. Let the game come to you.
All right, Luke, thank you so much for joining us today. Wish you the best of luck tomorrow in the district semifinals. Hopefully you can earn your way into a district championship. We'll all be rooting for you, and we can't wait to see you again real soon.
Thank you.
You got it. Luke Rowan, man, shooter extraordinaire. But like he said, he's going to start to come out of his boundary a little bit, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch him grow over the next 2 years and see what he can do this year in the districts. That will be tomorrow night. South Range plays Brookfield and Warren Harding. We will have Noah Ricks, I believe, on the call in Warren Harding tomorrow night for that one. So it will be on YSN, like all the district games leading up into this week. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to kind of recap the weekend a little bit, talk about the games that went down, talk about some of the district champions that we have crowned, and then we'll preview the district games that are going on tonight in boys basketball as well. That all coming up and more on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you, and we try to do the same here every day on Running Point. We thank them so much for their constant support of not just this show, but everything we do on YSN as well. Let's rewind a little bit and recap the action over the weekend. Obviously, we had boys sectional finals go on, and then we had the girls district championships on Saturday. We'll start with the boys basketball games that went on Friday. It was Maplewood that took down Jackson Milton, 62-50, the final score there. We saw Canfield earn the win over Marlington. They definitely hope that the girls can repeat that success. 58-44 on the boys' side. Canfield advances. They'll play Wednesday in the district semifinals. We go to Lowville. They had a battle with Lake Center Christian, but they were able to pull out the win, 43-41. So Lowville advances to Struthers in the districts. 50-40, Girard finds a way to beat Hawken, I said 50-40, but 50-40 is the final score there. Girard advances to Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, so they have some traveling to do for their district semifinal. That game will be Thursday, and that will be against Gilmore Academy. So good luck to Girard. Real quick, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think Girard is the team that is going a little bit under the radar because some of the struggles they had down the stretch. Obviously, they went from leading the NE8 to having a three-way tie in the NE8. They had a couple of tough losses, but all those losses were to really good teams, teams that also won the NE8. And I think Girard's still a team that can make a lot of noise. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won on Thursday and they got themselves to a district championship game. And I think they have what it takes to win a district. I really do. 50-40, they win over Hawken. They'll advance once again Thursday. They play Gilmore Academy. Brookfield advances to the district semifinals in Warren Harding, 62-48. They beat the visiting Southeast Pirates. A good win for the Warriors moving forward. One district final happened on Friday night, so I want to give a shout out to the Hoban girls. Fourth consecutive district championship that they are able to win. They had a lead against Green, seemed like the whole way, but Green fought their way back into the fourth quarter. A late rally by the Bulldogs, but Hoban is able to hold on 51-48. They advance to the Medina region, and they will play tomorrow night against Midview in the regional semifinals. You look at the rest of the region. On the other half, it's Solon, and Canton McKinley. So it's going to be a really tough region to get out of, but I think Hoban has a good shot to get out of that Medina region and go to Dayton. Other boys score. Warren JFK, no problems at all in the sectionals. They won 84-43 over McDonald. No sweat for the Eagles. Also no sweat for Cheney as they beat Orange 71-38. I thought Orange's defense was going to be a little bit up for the task, but Cheney had a game plan and they executed really well. Probably the best offensive game that Cheney's had in the tournament so far. 71 points they put up against Orange. Orange needed this to be a low-scoring game to succeed, and unfortunately for them, Cheney ran out and did what they do to a lot of teams, and that is score a lot of points. Mooney was able to win in handed fashion against Rootstown, 63-29. We've seen this before. Mooney is a different animal when tournament time comes around. Last year, they didn't have a tremendous regular season. They had a couple of stretches last year where they probably felt like they didn't play their best, but when tournament time came up, they flipped that switch and they went all the way to regionals. So Mooney is definitely just a different story when tournament time comes around. They get to win 63-29 over Rootstown. They advance to districts. Also advancing the districts is Waterloo. They got the edge win 33-31 over Newton Falls. A tough finish to the season for the Tigers. They were sitting in first place in the MVAC all season long. They lost a couple of heartbreakers down the stretch that lost them that championship, and then they lose a 2-point game in the sectional final to Waterloo. So a tough finish for Newton Falls, but it's still a very impressive season coming off of what they had last year and getting Coach Simbach his 500th career win as a head coach. He is a legend no matter how the season ended, and they'll be back next year for more. But congratulations to Waterloo. South Range had one of their best defensive days of the season, holding United to 17 points, 56-17. The Raiders roll in the districts. They will play Brookfield on, I almost said on Tuesday. It's tomorrow night. They'll play Brookfield tomorrow night at Warren Harding. 70-62, Edgewood gets the win over West Geauga to advance. They will have to play Ursuline next. That's going to be a tall mountain to climb for Edgewood. But if anyone has proven they have the offense to run with the Irish, it has been Zach Vinsel and the Warriors. We'll see how that goes coming up in districts. Columbiana earns a trip to districts as well. They win over Valley Christian 52-44, the final score there. A close one in Badger as they're able to hold off Springfield 41-38. The Braves advance to districts as well. Ursuline, no worries at all, 61-28. They beat Streetsboro handedly at home. They get the win. They advance to play Edgewood. Wyndham goes into Wellsville, upsets the EOAC champions, 66-64. The final score. The Bombers get the win, and Wellsville's season comes to an end. Southern, who have fought Wellsville neck and neck all season, for that conference championship. They get the win over Kidron Central Christian, 55-46, the final score there. Southern advances. Beechwood goes and beats Garfield 83-56, the final score there. Congratulations to Garfield on a great season. Minner Lake Catholic beats Champion 64-39. We have to say goodbye to 7 Champion seniors on that basketball team. They've all put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to that program. So congratulations to them on a great career. Their season ends with a loss to Minner Lake Catholic 64-39. Gilmore Academy beats Struthers 69-40. That's who will go up against Girard. That's a big win for Gilmore Academy, and Girard's going to have a tough test, but like I said, I think they're going to be up for it. Let's see. Lutheran East beat Liberty 105-65. Lutheran East, one of the best teams in the state. They'll be in that Warren Harding district in Division III. They are a good basketball team. It's going to be tough to get out of that district with them sitting there. Then we'll go into Saturday's district championships. We talked to Abby McElroy about this Canfield-Salem game, 32-26. Canfield gets the win over Salem in Streetsboro. And Abby said it. Their defense was the key. Their defense has been the key all season, despite some of the games where they have had really big offensive numbers that overshadow that point. Canfield's defense kind of made a statement because both these teams came in top-ranked defenses in the state. Salem was 8th in RPI coming into the tournament. Canfield was 3 in the state, all across Division II. So it was 2 of the top 10 teams in RPI going up at it. We knew it was going to be a battle, but a lot of people were kind of saying Salem's got the defense, Canfield's got the offense. But Canfield kind of proved, hey, if you want to get into a defensive grudge match and trade blows and go up and down the floor, we could do that too. And they only scored 32 points. Their leading scorer was held scoreless, but Jen Treveri stepped up, scored a lot of points for them. Solly had a good game as well. So it's tough to see these teams. One of these teams had to lose, and that's what's the toughest thing is, because they're both in the same district. They're both really talented. They both probably could have gone and had a good chance to win a region. Both of the teams this year have beaten Marlington, who is sitting in the regional semifinals right now. So you could argue that both teams had a good chance to at least find their way to a regional championship, but they had to get past each other. That's the bittersweetness of tournament time is really good teams play each other at some point, and at some point one really good team has to go on and one really good team has to pack it up and say goodbye for a season. And on this day, it was Salem that we have to say goodbye to. What a great season they had, and they defied a lot of expectations. A lot of people thought all those seniors you lost last year, they were why your defense was so special. And the offense last year, wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't great. So people were saying, Salem's in trouble this year, but all they did is get better at defense. They broke their record again as far as program record for points allowed per game in the season. And then their offense got better. Unfortunately for them, their offense wasn't good enough on Saturday, but their offense got a lot better this year. And Cammie Rome, Riley Hutton, Abby Davidson, a healthy Abby Davidson that still had a game high 16, by the way. It was a fun Salem team to watch. That's the main point. And unfortunately, like I said, these two teams play each other in the district championship. It probably could have been a regional championship if it worked out that way. It did not. It ended up being a district championship. And we have to bid Salem adieu and cheer on Canfield as they go on to play Marlington in the regional semifinals tomorrow night in Barberton. So some other scores from district championships. We had 5 district championships go on. 4 district champions were crowned. Another one in Garfield as they're able to beat Liberty. They have won 3 out of 3 now against Liberty this year, 43-37. They beat the Leopards, and just like Canfield, it was done with defense. They held Demi Watson to 6 points. That is extremely hard to do. It was Aaliyah Foster that did a lot of the damage for Liberty. You're not going to stop all 3 of them, but I think with Smith, Foster, Watson. But I think Garfield understood that Watson is kind of the engine of the 3. She's the one that sets the tone for the team. Usually If she doesn't score a lot of points, Liberty struggles, even if the other two go off. I think they kind of pinpointed Demi Watson as the one that they had to keep in check. And they had Madeline Shirky on her all day. And unlike when we saw them go up against them being Liberty, go up against really good defense in Poland, who is statistically one of the better defenses in the YSN family. Shirky and the G-men had the height to contend and the height to put serious ball pressure on. Shirky's a long point guard. She was able to kind of match Demi Watson and not give her a little bit more problems than Poland was able to earlier on in the tournament. Garfield's defense stepped through, and then Laura McCoy and the offense got off to a quick start and a quick finish. So there's a little bit of a lull there in the middle for the Garfield offense, but in the fourth quarter and in the first quarter, the Garfield offense set the tone, one with Laura McCoy and Zoe May hitting a couple of threes in the first quarter as well. And then down the stretch, it was Mandy Cardinal scoring in the fourth quarter, putting some clutch buckets in for the G-men as they rattled home just enough to win 43-37. Final score there. Garfield has won 3 district championships in a row. This is the first one they've won in Struthers. I talked about it with Coach Gilbert last week. It felt like they were making Lakeview home the last couple of years, but this year they went down to the field house. Bigger atmosphere, didn't rattle them at all. They were able to win 2 games down there in Struthers. They advanced to Cuyahoga Falls, where they will play Shaker Heights Laurel in the regional semifinals at 6 o'clock in Cuyahoga Falls on Wednesday. Speaking of Laurel, they are the only team out of the YSN family. I should say that beat out a YSN family school. They were able to knock off Crestview 58-32, the final score there. Crestview had a lead after one quarter. They all got off to a great start. 13-8, they led after one. But Laurel and those Gators, man, they are a really good team. It was almost like they got punched and they woke up a little bit. The smelling salts hit them, and they were able to kind of keep the Rebels in check from that point on and run away with this game 52-38. We knew it would be tough, but I was impressed by the Rebels fight watching it back on film with Larry Scraggle on the call. I was impressed with the way the Rebels came out, not scared at all, not intimidated. And like I said, they came out with a 13-8 lead. At the end of the day, Laurel was just, once they started to wake up, they were just a better basketball team. And I think that was pretty apparent. 58-32 final score there. Go on to a winner, though, in the district championships. Springfield, after a really tough district semi where they had to kind of sweat their way through a fourth quarter comeback. All Tigers in this one. 43-21, they beat Cornerstone Christian. They kept the Patriots off the three-point line, which I think was the only reason they were even in the game against Middle Ridge, with some clutch threes that they were able to hit in that game. I think Middle Ridge was actually a better basketball team. I know that's weird to say because they lost by 2, but I think, Cornerstone just had some shots fall in that game that kind of turned the tide a little bit. I think Middle Ridge was a better team, and I thought that Cornerstone Christian kind of shot their way out of being not the best team, which sometimes in basketball happens. You see it in the March Madness all the time, which is coming up real quick. No one would argue that pound for pound, Duke is a better team than Lehigh, but Lehigh still beat Duke in the tournament. Sometimes the quote unquote better team doesn't win. You just have to be better that night. Cornerstone was better than Middle Ridge that night. I thought Middle Ridge was a better basketball team. And I think Springfield kind of exposed that with a very dominant win over Cornerstone Christian in the championship. I think Middle Ridge would have given Springfield a little bit of a big fight because it would have been the third time that Springfield sees them, and obviously a lot of familiarity, a lot of unfamiliarity. I don't think Cornerstone Christian understood how good their guards were. I think they thought, I was eavesdropping a little bit on their coach's post-game interview with the media there, and she was talking about how she thought that, Middle Ridge guards were faster than the Springfield. Maybe they are, but I don't think they appreciated how good of players that Springfield's guards were, especially on the defensive side, because, man, 21 points. That is a great defensive effort in a district championship game. Springfield wins their second in a row. They'll go back to Maslin Perry on Thursday, and they will play Dalton. I got to say it right for you Dalton fans. They will play Dalton on Thursday in Massillon Perry at 6 o'clock. We'll have 2 teams down there in Division 4 because Western Reserve also got the win in the district championship 36-24. They're able to beat Badger. They end Badger's run, which, again, 2 really good teams that are meeting in the district championship game. 2 teams that had really good seasons. So we have to say goodbye to one of them. That's how tournament time works. Brooke Shantz had a great game, 20 points for her. Seemed like Badger didn't have an answer for her scoring ability. And Western Reserve really relied on their defense that has been good all year. I've said it before. The struggles that Western Reserve had, especially in the first half of the year, were not because of their defense. They were because offense, couldn't find ways to score, and they were getting into these really low scoring games and it's not coming out on top of them. Their defense has been good all season. It's good again, and they win 36-24. A pretty low scoring district championship, but when you're a defensive minded team like Western Reserve is, you're okay with that. In fact, you love it. So they're able to win by 12. They advance to play in the regional semifinals in Perry on Thursday after Springfield. They'll play Buckeye Central, who is a quote-unquote favorite to win the region. They were able to win it last year, and they were the team that beat Springfield last season. So that's who Western Reserve has to go up against on Thursday. They will be the second game in Perry, so they will play approximately 20 minutes after Springfield is over. Those are your district championships from Saturday. We'll go into some boys' games that happened in the tournament on Saturday as well. We saw Hoban advance in the tournament with a 71-40 win over Massillon, Washington. No problem there for the Knights. They were able to just wallop on the Tigers. We saw East Liverpool advance with an 81-52 win over Cambridge. Good win for the Potters as they advanced in the districts. And then we saw Louisville get into a little bit of a battle with Solon, but win 50-42. Louisville proving that they don't have to score 80 points to win. They definitely can. They have proven that time and time again this year. They can score 80 whenever they want to. But if your defense is up for the task and slows them down a little bit, Louisville plays really good defense as well. So they can get into those lower scoring games. 50-42, the Leopards advance into districts. You heard from Coach Siegfried and talk more with Matt Morrison. That'll be up on the website very, very soon as well. Another boys game, we had Beaver Local season come to an end with a 76-61 loss to St. Clairsville. So a tough loss for the Beavers, but they end their season. So that's a recap of the weekend. Congratulations to our district champions on the year. Garfield, Canfield, Western Reserve, Springfield, all winning the district. Congratulations to them. I know that's a goal to all the teams that start the season. First, you want to win a district, check that mark, and then focus your eyes. Now the goal is to win and get to Dayton, of course, with the next 2 games being in regionals. We haven't had a team in Dayton since McDonald a couple of years ago, so it would be nice to see another team punch a ticket to Dayton in basketball. I think there are a couple of teams that have a pretty decent shot to do it. I think all the divisions, outside of no, I do think all the divisions have a decent shot. If Garfield pulls off the win, doors open, right? You beat one of the top teams, not just in the region, in the state. Not saying the next team isn't tough, but I'm just saying if you beat Laurel, you better be able to beat the next team. And then obviously Canfield, Marlington. That's a game that's a toss up, but whoever wins that game plays good enough defense, scores enough to win the next round. And then I think Springfield is a much better team, especially defensively at this level than they were last year. So I think they have a chance to go and get a regional championship as well. So I think we have a team in all 4 divisions, with Hoban in there in Division 1, and then Canfield in Division 2, Garfield in Division 3, and then we have 2 teams in Division 4. So 5 teams playing in a regional, and we hope that at least one of them can break out and get into Dayton. It'd be really cool if Springfield and Western Reserve win. Then we have a all-MVAC Scarlet Tier Regional Championship, and someone is getting the Dayton guaranteed. But we'll all focus on that as the days go on and the matchups get closer. Talking about the matchups that are going on tonight, there are some boys district semifinals tonight. It's the first Monday in a while we've had games. We've had a couple of Mondays off. Going on tonight, we will have districts from Niles. It'll be Pymatuning Valley at Beechwood. not at Beechwood, but versus Beechwood at 7 o'clock. Ian O'Brien will be on the call there. Columbiana will play Lutheran East at Warren Harding. That's going to be a 7 o'clock start time there. Eric Hoppy will have the call there. And then Wyndham versus Warren JFK at Struthers. Dom O'Brien will have the call for that one. So those three are all district semifinals. Niles, Harding, and Struthers all going at it for the trip to the district championships. One payment of $9.99 gets you access to all three of those games. If it's not $9.99, don't bother. It's not us. I cannot stress that enough. As far as today's show, that'll end it. We hope you enjoy the games that are going on tonight. I think the guests that were able to come on live and have some time with us, Abby Muckleroy and Luke Rowan from Canfield and South Range, respectively. Thank them for their time. We'll see you tomorrow from 1 to 2 for another episode of Running Point on Ysn Live. Brought to you, as always, by Greenwood